Hello guys, F.A.D here and welcome back to another new video on the channel. I say another, it's been a while, or well, I did upload that one guitar cover, but let's just say the channel has been very inconsistent in the last few months. There's a very good reason for that. I've explained this in comments and on community posts already, but in August I started university and that has really taken up a lot of my time. I've scrapped a lot of reviews I've wanted to do and just video ideas. I mean, of course I haven't scrapped everything, but some things just had to get pushed back. I'm currently still working on a proper video for Nickelback's new album, which I hope to bring out as fast as I can. But in the meantime, today's video will be a little diversion, so that's all gonna come. Sorry again, it's just life's been very busy, university, just a bunch of stuff really just falling on my back, and it's been very stressful, and I hope that you guys can understand that. However, today we will be doing something that I wanted to do right at the start of the new year, actually just after New Year's Eve probably, because that's around the time where I uploaded this kind of video last year. I wanted to do a little CD collection update. So I did this last year where I just kind of recorded myself unscripted, just a long video of me just talking about CDs that I bought, basically, that I have gotten, that I've acquired since the last CD video. And for this whole year, I've basically had in mind that I would just keep track of all the CDs I would buy, and that at the end of 2022, oh, that's already last year, yeah, throughout all of 2022 I had that idea, and then my plan was to then at the end of the year record a video showing off all of my new acquisitions, all of my 2022 pickups. Some things came up, I wasn't able to immediately do the video because during the Christmas period I had some trouble with getting one last order shipped, so I was still waiting on that, and yeah, stuff like that. But finally I'm recording it, and yeah, it's gonna just be a very long, talkative kind of video. I hope it won't be too long. I'll definitely do my best to get through everything as fast as I can. It is over 70 CDs, so I'll see what I can do, but you guys know me, I love to talk a lot. I have a hard time shutting up. But some of you enjoy that maybe. So yeah, a bunch of new CDs I bought this year. A lot of money went into this, some secondhand, some new stuff. A lot of new metal, of course, I love that 2000s junk. But also a lot of metalcore actually. In 2022 I really did embrace that inner core kid within me, so and I'm pretty sure that's going to be kind of visible with some of these CDs. So yeah, without any more further ado, let's just get into it. So all of the CDs that I got in the year 2022, and as always, the order I do this in is alphabetical order of the artists, and if I have more than one CD from a particular artist or band, then those CDs are in chronological order that they came out in, so from oldest to newest. I've said this, I say this every time I do a CD video, so yeah, you know the drill by now. Let's get into it without any more further ado, finally. Starting off with, definitely within the new metal realm, right here we got 40 Below Summer, Invitation to the Dance. Now, this has always been a CD, one of those B, C tier new metal albums and bands that I've wanted to, get into and listen to, but it's just so much music out there, haven't really been able to get around to it until, yeah, very late last year, where I finally got my hands on this CD. Also, if throughout this video I refer to 2022 as this year a few times, then I apologize, but it's still kind of confusing to me that it's 2023, especially since I had this video planned for the end of 2022. Just bear with me. This might be a very shaky and rough video. It's been a while since I've just talked to a camera, so yeah, just so you know. But yeah, 40 Below Summer, Invitation to the Dance. Then after that, immediately with a bit of that metalcore, post-hardcore, Alexis on Fire with Crisis. Yes, my favorite Alexis on Fire record. It's got a song that appeared on Degrassi, and that's how I got into him. So yeah, Crisis, love this record. If I can get it back in. Yeah. Right after that, sticking definitely, come on, speaking of metalcore, All That Remains, The Fall of Ideals. This is a goated metalcore album, freaking classic. After that, and now this is the CD that I was waiting on. This is the CD that came in this January, American Head Charge, The War of Art. So I was waiting for this one for a long time, but it came in good condition, and again, similarly to 40 Below Summer, just one of those, more or lesser known new metal bands of that 2000s era. After that, definitely moving back to metalcore, and definitely some modern metalcore this time with Architects, and yeah, I went heavy on Architects like in 2022. Like I really got into them. Like I used to like listen to their stuff here and there, but like I really got into the blah in 2022. So yeah, I got Lost Forever, Lost Together. Sorry if I'm always like double checking album titles because I'm always so like scared of getting something completely wrong. But yeah, Lost Forever, Lost Together. Maybe my favorite of theirs, but I got like a bunch of these. So let's just like go through them. I also got All of Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. I of course got Holy Hell. This again, I think this is like very close with Lost Forever, Lost Together in terms of what my favorite Architects record is. And then of course we got their recent output, which has kind of split the fan base a little bit with For Those That Wish to Exist and the classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit. I dig both of these records. They're different, but you know me, like I'm like into that trashy butt rock, mainstream rock 2000s stuff. So this is right up my alley, I even really like. I've heard a lot of people have some problems with the newest Architects record. I really dig it. Like it's not my favorite, but like it's a fun listen for me. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, Architects really got into them this last year. Staying within new metal, metalcore. If I also couldn't like use those terms in like wrong, like if I like say the wrong genre for the music throughout this video, also bear with me. I'm just so rusty. I'm talking to a camera. It's unreal, but. Staying within metalcore and now going back to the classics, we of course got As I Lay Dying, and I got 2 of their albums. I got oh my god, I got Shadows Are Security, and I got An Ocean Between Us. That's the album title, right? Yeah, of course. I'm not confident in my ability to remember album titles correctly, even though I love both of these records. These are some great 2000s metalcore classics. It's a shame about, of course, what has been happening with the band in these later years, but I mean, the legacy of this music will remain forever. And yeah, As I Lay Dying, of course, saw them live a few years back. Killer performance as well. So yeah, what can I say? Now moving to another, like a band which I've really wanted to buy CDs for a while. Apologies, I'll like get this out of the way so it's not obstructing the view. This is a band. The following is like a band I've been wanting to really get into and like buy their CDs for years, but just never kind of got around to it because they were never like my all-time favorites, but finally managed to get my hands on some of their stuff this last year. Avenged Sevenfold. So I got, sorry about that, one of my dogs was barking. So yeah, again, very professional, I know, but bear with me. Where was I? Avenged Sevenfold. Been meaning to really get into buying some of their CDs for years. Finally did it 2022. Got the 3 albums which I always consider to be my favorites from like the stuff I listen to on Spotify across the years, etc. So got City of Evil, we got Self-Titled, and of course we got Nightmare. Which one is my favorite of these? I actually don't know. Yeah, that's a tough question. But again, Avenged Sevenfold, I mean, it's more so just an essential to have, like at least some of their stuff in your collection. So finally got around to it. But like for instance, like Nightmare is still sealed. It's you buy a lot of music, you listen to a lot of new music, you don't really get around to listening to all of it. But I mean, I know Nightmare, of course. Like it's just I haven't gone around to listen to the CD. Yeah, sorry. Again, I'm a talker. I like to just talk, like spend like minutes talking about something very simple and straightforward. But yeah, moving on from Avenged Sevenfold, we now have one of my more recent acquisitions. Actually, maybe I'm saying that wrongly because I actually got this as a present. In the Netherlands, there's this thing called Sinterklaas, and this is a present I got for that. It was on my wish list. Bring Me the Horizon Sempiternal. I already owned That's the Spirit, which is definitely my favorite Bring Me record. And I mean, this is like the widespread opinion is that this is their best. And while I personally prefer That's the Spirit, I mean, I still really dig this album, and I've been meaning to get it, but in the end, I got it as a present. So yeah, Bring Me Horizon Sempiternal. Oh my god, but yeah, again, metalcore, staying within that realm, and we're still staying within that realm, and yeah, we're definitely staying within that realm. So all these CDs are from one band, and basically this is another like group that I really got into this last year, mostly in anticipation of a concert that I'm actually going to in a few weeks from now. 1st of February, I'm gonna see Bullet for My Valentine. Yeah, so before I only owned The Poison, like I also liked a lot of their other stuff, but like The Poison, their first record was the only one I owned, and yeah, I just went Bullet crazy in 2022, and I bought the rest of their discography basically. So we got Scream Aim Fire, we got Fever, we got Temper, which again, hot take, I think is nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be. I guess that's just my shit music taste, you know, doing its thing, but whatever. Venom. And then, again, similar story with Gravity. I, again, really do not have a big problem with this record. It's something different. Maybe if I was, like, a real huge Bullet fan when it came out, I would have had some more irks with it. But, like, I really do dig it. And knowing that they went back to some of their heavier, like, went back to their heavier style on their self-titled album, it's all good. And, yeah, just really got into Bullet lately. Very excited to see them live in concert. Yeah, metalcore, baby. For sure. Now, let's move this pile over here. Continuing on, and now we're finally moving back to like my happy place, you know, what I'm mostly known for, the 2000s kind of like, you know, mainstream rocky bands. We got F.A.D, but this happens to be their least popular album. This is their last record, their 2011 album, We All Bleed. I actually didn't own this on CD yet. I've been meaning to get it for years because I really love F.A.D, and I love their first two records, and I've really enjoyed this one too. It's like it's a very different record for them. It's a lot darker and a lot more mature in many ways. But I really always dug the style of it. I just, again, like it was always on that list of CDs I want to get, but like it was never like on the top. So it took me until this last year to finally get it, and now I have all 3 F.A.D records. Yeah. After that, another like 2000s kind of underrated record that, you know, only people with like my music taste probably know about. Deep Field with, and then it's like, oh my god, again. Archetypes and Repetition. Okay, again, like I know these titles, but I am so scared I'll say them wrong because it's happened before, and it's just embarrassing when I'm done editing the video and I say like, damn, you got it wrong. So yeah, Archetypes and Repetition, really solid record, very like shine downy a little bit, but the vocal style is like a little bit less, like it's a bit more, I don't know what to say. See, I'm not really a good music critic. It's like it has a shine downy style to it, the music, but the vocals are a bit more youthful. I really dig this record. It's just a solid album from start to finish, and that's why I got my hands on it. And like in new sealed condition as well. That was a very good deal. After that, moving on. Now definitely new metal. Deftones. I mean, everybody loves Deftones, and this is Kaino Yokon. This is one of their newer-ish albums from the 2010s. This is 2012. Like I already owned like all my favorite Deftones albums, and then I was just like looking into getting into some more of their stuff, and then like this was another one of their records that like a lot of people tend to love, so I checked it out and I also really enjoyed it. You know, Deftones is definitely not one of my favorite bands. Like they're not like a casual listen for me, but like when I'm in the mood for Deftones, I definitely love Deftones. That's all I'll say. And this is another just great Deftones record. So yeah. Yeah, moving on again, boom, B, even like C tier new metal, Depswa with freaking Two Angels and a Dream. Yeah, I mean this has some bangers on it. Again, it's just one of those, you know, really like under the radar, you know, new metal bands that never really made it big. You know, kind of like got dropped after an album or two, and this I think these guys only released this one major label album actually, and yeah, I just love it because that's just for some reason I love that music. Again, that's my music taste for you, new metal kid forever. But yeah, that was that, and then we actually have, I believe, what might be the very first CD I got in 2022, because I remember Disciple. I really was getting into them. Like again, I like listen to a lot of Christian rock bands. It just coincidentally happens. I just really gravitate towards that kind of music. Maybe because it's like more uplifting and motivating, and that kind of speaks to me because I'm like so used to listening to all this like really down and gloomy stuff. You know, like your Stains and your Colds. So like, you know, Christian rock, which is always like so motivating and positive, is like a nice change of pace for me. But yeah, I was getting into Disciple specifically, I think, like around the tail end of 2021, and yeah, then like around the start of this year, I'm pretty sure this was the very first CD I got in 2022, was Disciple, Sovereign Hospitality. Yeah, just another solid record from him, that's all I'll say. And now we got another collection of records from one specific band, and this is also like a band this is again very much new metal, late 90s, early 2000s, and again, one of those bands where it's like, okay, kind of like I see the flaws in it, but I just can't help but love it, and that's dope. And I got 4 of their records quite like recently, even like I got their first 2 albums. So of course I got Felons and Revolutionaries without the You Spin Me Round cover, unfortunately, because that version was more expensive, and I'll get back to that in a second. Then I got their second album, Life. I skipped their third because I couldn't skip their third, but like got their 4th, American Apathy. Now this is one of the edgiest albums I've ever listened to. Like even the box art, everything, the art in it is just 2000s edgelord like to the max, and I love it. Can't help but love it. And also this has like a bonus CD which has You Spin Me Round cover by them on it, so I don't feel as bad for not having the first record with that song. Man, I can't speak today. And then I also have No Regrets, which actually low-key might be my favorite Dope album. This is yeah, I wasn't expecting to like really like this one as much as I did. You know, it's like a later in their career, but it's very solid. It's got some awesome you know, new metal, mainstream, like alt rock on it. It's just, yeah, just my style, like all the way. And then the last for this little batch I got on my desk here is again one of my newest acquisitions, and we're definitely going back into some of the more underrated new metal bands. This is like, again, like a very, okay, sorry, I'm repeating myself. I need to take a break. A very underrated new metal band from Germany, if I'm not mistaken. Emil Bulls with Angel Delivery Service. This is just a great record. I was just going through this list of like best new metal albums, and I saw this like pretty high up, so I was like immediately like intrigued. I wanted to check it out, and yeah, it's great. So yeah, like again, new metal kid like me, I eat this stuff up, you know, love it. And I've said it like a billion times already. Very, very engaging, totally not repetitive commentary. Okay, let me get the next batch of CDs. Alright, on with the next batch. Let's just get right into it, keep up the flow. Again, a CD I got very early into 2022. I actually bought this when I was on a little mini vacation with my mom in Poland. Evanescence, their newest record, The Bitter Truth. Yeah, it's a solid new. I mean, of course, it was always. I mean, I remember when this came out, it was just awesome to see Evanescence back on the scene with like a proper, like, full new album of new material. But like again, like, man, the mixing, like I've tried going back to this album like numerous times to see if it, like, to see like if it was as bad as I remember. But man, the production, the mix on this is so rough. The vocals get like so like muddled in the mix, and just like, oh, it's. There's a good album on here. There's good music here, good tracks, but the mix really does not do it any favors. Let's just say that. But yeah, it's still a solid enough record, and it's always nice to see a new Evanescence album, right? After that, a very again underrated Christian rock group following up with their first record, Crashings. Not much to say there. Just, you know, my kind of acquisition right there. Hollywood Undead's new album, Hotel California. Like, I've always had for years I've had a soft spot for Hollywood Undead. Call it a guilty pleasure, call it whatever. I saw them live, and it was one of my favorite concert experiences. And yeah, they're just, you know, even though they're like, I know it's kind of cringe, they're still doing the same old stuff they were doing when they were young in 2008. But man, it's Hollywood Undead. I don't care too much. So yeah, Hotel California. Right after that, we got back to the, like, you know, my edgy new metal early 2000s comfort zone with Il Nino and Confession. Really super underrated, and just a very solid, just great record. That's all I'll say. Can't give it enough praise. It's just, again, it's just my kind of music, just solid, like the whole record through. And then after that, from new metal, we do head back into that, you know, metalcore obsession that I've developed this last year with potentially the goats of the scene, Killswitch Engage. We got, of course, the end of Heartache, and then after that we got Daylight Ends. You know, My Curse, and then this got the title track. Those are like the quintessential Killswitch songs, and yeah, they're still sealed, as you can see, which is kind of embarrassing. Means I still haven't gone around to actually listen to these CDs. Trust me, I love these albums, just haven't listened to the CDs yet. It's just, I got, you know, I was getting into a lot of metalcore this year, and like, for instance, I would listen to this digitally, and then I would finally buy it, but then, like, by the time the CD came in, I would be looking for some new stuff to listen to. You know how it is. But yeah, I love these two records, love Killswitch. Yeah. Did I just say As Daylight Ends? This is As Daylight Dies. See, I got that title wrong. This is why I always double check. Yeah. That's my brain for you. And then again, another like band which I kind of like went CD crazy for this last year, because like in anticipation of a concert, Limp Bizkit. And yeah, I bought basically like all their OG, like old school material. So I bought their first album, $3 Bill Y'all. I bought Significant Other. I bought Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water. And I even bought Results May Vary. Yeah, that record. Limp Bizkit, I'll always love Limp Bizkit. It's just kind of maybe like similar to Hollywood Undead. It's just called a guilty pleasure. I don't care, and like I am so excited to see these guys live. The concert got moved twice. Like I was gonna see them in the summer of 2021, then the concert got moved to last summer 2022, and then like Fred Durst had some health problems, so the concert was like delayed again, and now the date is in April, and I pray to the nu metal gods that I can finally see Limp Bizkit live, because I've heard some good, really good stuff about like their live performances and their shows. I am very stoked. So yeah, Limp Bizkit, I don't care what anyone says, I unironically like I listen and like enjoy listening to Limp Bizkit. So yeah, make of that what you will. And then after that we also got some Linkin Park. So I kind of tried to like fleshing out my Linkin Park catalog, if you will, this last year. I had this like in the tail end of the summer. I had this like heavy Nickelback I hope I wasn't saying Nickelback the whole time. Linkin Park. Towards the tail end of the summer, I had this heavy Linkin Park phase, and like I owned a few other CDs, but I thought, hey, might as well get more. The only CD I don't own right now is One More Light, even though I was very close to getting it. But yeah, this is of course A Thousand Suns and Living Things. Of course, not my favorite LP albums. Like I always will have, of course, I'm a nu metal kid. I'll always love Hybrid Fury and Meteora. Those are always gonna be their best. But these are solid experiences still. You know, just different styles for sure. And yeah, that's Linkin Park. Moving on, and this is now okay. This was okay. We're getting to the big one for me, for this channel, where the band that started it all, Nickelback. So, in anticipation of them releasing a new album, finally, like in it's been like, of course, Get Rollin' released this past year, 2022. First album in 5 years for Nickelback. I was very excited, and I'm also going to be seeing them in concert for sure whenever they finally come to Europe on their upcoming touring cycle. So I'm very excited for that, and I've just been like, ever since like hearing the news that Nickelback was working on some new music last year, I was like super stoked on them again. I felt like I was like a few years younger, like like half a decade at least. And yeah, so in anticipation of Get Rollin', like I bought some special editions of albums. So I bought, for the Long Road, I bought the collector's edition. Again, these different edition names are always confusing me. But the collector's edition of the Long Road, which is my favorite Nickelback album. And I also bought the 15th anniversary edition of All the Right Reasons. Yeah, of course they're digipacked, but still I was just so hyped for a new Nickelback album that I had to like cure that itch somehow before Get Rollin' came out. And then of course, once Get Rollin' finally did come out, I got the album twice. I got the regular standard edition, and I got the deluxe, which has like a few acoustic bonus tracks. It's quite a disappointing deluxe actually, but still I bought it twice. Get Rollin', I won't say too much, but yeah, I'm currently working on a video on this album, like a script, and I hope to have it out sometime within the next couple of weeks. I'm doing my best. I really want to do that, so I won't say too much, but overall I do dig this record. It's fine. That kind of sounds negative. Again, I dig this record. That's all I'll say. So yeah, Nickelback will always hold a special place in my heart. Everyone that follows the channel will know why, and yeah, I won't repeat myself too much, even though I already have been doing that. Moving on, Nonpoint, one of my favorite, like, one of the most underrated nu metal bands for sure. They've been like doing their thing for decades at this point, and this was the only full-length album of theirs that I did not own yet, because the main reason for that being that it only comes in a digipack. But 2022, I finally caved in. I was like, listen, for completionist's sake, let me just get the Poison Red, so I have all of their records. But yeah, I love Nonpoint. After that, we got, okay, back to metalcore. And with a band I got into this year. Hold on. I'm missing one record. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I just for some reason realized I missed a whole album here. I hope that hasn't been the case at any other point in this video. Otherwise, I'll be very salty afterwards, because it's just I definitely feel my throat right now from all the talking. So I hope I didn't miss out any CDs. But yeah, let me just put this in the correct order right now. This is, I think, the band, like me getting into this band like at the very early in 2022 really like kicked off like this me embracing the inner core kid, because like I got into one of their albums, and then like that's just kicked everything off. So this last year, I primarily really got into Of Mice and Men. Heading into 2022, I was mainly familiar with this album, Restoring Force 2014, one of my just an amazing record. I love this album, and throughout the year I've only gained even more love and appreciation for it. Restoring Force, this was also the first album I bought of theirs, but next to that I also bought their self-titled debut. I bought this expanded deluxe whatever edition of The Flood, their second album, which has the bonus disc on it. Of course, Restoring Force, my favorite, and just I love this album to death. Just can't say that enough. And I also bought Cold World, which is actually still sealed. Probably my least favorite of the bunch, even though I still love it. Even though like Of Mice and Men fans like don't really, because it's like kind of, again, I love that butt rock new metal stuff. So this was right up my alley. It's just I haven't listened to the CD yet again. But Of Mice and Men, this is the band I really like this last year, like because I really got into them like at the start of 2022, and that like kicked off me like listening to more other metalcore bands. But yeah, Of Mice and Men, love them. Like this is all the Austin stuff, but like also dig all of their material with you know, post Austin. You know, Defy, their newest album is kick-ass. Just haven't gotten around to buying those CDs at this point in time. But yeah, Of Mice and Men, love their stuff. Yeah, metalcore. And after that we got, this is a very interesting one. This is a very proud purchase of me. This is One Less Reason. This is One Less Reason. Everyday Life. No, Jesus, sorry. Stress. I'm getting stressed out. This is not a self-titled album. Everyday Life by One Less Reason. Their first album. There's a big story to this. I had a video planned for it at one point, but it was one of the scrapped ideas. Super underrated, like post-grunge 2000s band. There's a good reason for that. They never released a major label album. They were signed by Universal, but then before they were able to release this record, I mean, they recorded it, but before it got released, they were fired, they were offloaded, and they were without a label. And then ever since then, they've just been an independent band. And yeah, but this is their first record. It's got like, again, I love like the 2000s like mainstream rock scene. I love this album. Has some kick-ass tunes. It's so underrated. I remember stumbling across like the song "A Day to Be Alone," which is definitely my favorite from here. It's a very emotional ballad about love and stuff like that I like really resonated with me when I first found it. I remember stumbling across it on like a sad, lonely Valentine's Day, like 2 years ago now, I think. And yeah, it's just, I've been trying to get my hands on this super rare CD, and I got so lucky on eBay that I found this seller who found this at a garage sale and didn't really even know what it was, and just kind of, like, he didn't post it for cheap, but he also didn't post it for super, like, for like a lot. So I immediately like just jumped on the opportunity and bought the CD, and like I'm very like proud of this purchase. This is like a very rare release. So yeah, and I also really dig it. It's super underrated. Check it out on Spotify at least. It's if you like the kind of music I do. One Less Reason, Everyday Life. Really just a great record. Like especially like if you're in stuff like Shinedown, then yeah. There's a lot of like also like, you know, personal songs about relationships and some just super catchy choruses and guitar riffs. It's great. I love it. And then after that we have, of course, if you know the channel, like arguably, probably, potentially, probably my all-time favorite band, Papa Roach, with their newest record, 2022's Ego Trip. Of course, I reviewed this when it came out. One problem with this CD is that every time I try to put it into my CD player, it doesn't work. Like, it skips, like, all over the place. It only happens on my CD player, nowhere else, so I don't know what the problem is. And I bought this album, like, 2 times at least. I might have even bought it 3 times and had the same issue, so I don't know what the problem is with this CD, or, like, if anyone knows anything, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, Ego Trip, reviewed this album when it dropped. Not my favorite P. Roach record, but definitely a huge step up from Who Do You Trust, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Moving forward, finally, Puddle of Mud. Yeah, gotta love Puddle of Mud, West Canton, of course, all that. I own their first 3 records, and again, this 4th album, Volume 4, Songs in the Key of Love and Hate, has been a record like on that list of CDs I've been meaning to buy for years, and I found it for cheap like a few like weeks or months ago, and I thought, okay, let's just get it, you know. So there we go. Moving forward. Oh, speaking of music that I bought, or CDs I bought in anticipation of a concert, I saw Red live in October in 2022. Great show, by the way. I went with my girlfriend. We had a great time. But yeah, since I already owned all of the Red albums, similarly to Nickelback, I had to go for like a special edition. So I bought this, and again, like, what is again, deluxe, special, super maybe it doesn't say it. It's like the deluxe special whatever edition of Red's second album, Innocence and Instinct. Yeah, bought this again in anticipation because I was so excited to go and see Red live. Again, great show. And also just one of the best albums for sure. Definitely love that. I mean, again, like Red's first 3 albums are just like classic, you know. But yeah, gotta love Christian rock. After that, we're moving back to like the really underrated, you know, like early 2000s bands that flew under the radar, like Rebus with their one album, Places for Breathing. They had one song, the lead single, Caught in the Rain, which performed well on the charts, on the rock charts when it dropped. But apart from that, this band just kind of disappeared, like very soon after. So yeah, just again, a very typical purchase for me. It's actually a very underrated album, I will say that. It's a pretty good sleep album. It's very calm, like it's just got that vibe to it. But yeah, after that, Saint Asonia with their newest release. In 2022, they released 2 EPs, before then combining both of them, Introvert and Extrovert, into one like physical release. And in my eyes, this together is like their 3rd album. So yeah, and again, like I think the first EP, I remember when it dropped, I was a bit like iffy on it, but it definitely grew on me, and the second EP was also just very good. And yeah, just more, I mean, Adam Gantier making music, you know, like that old, you know, that part of me, that young kid in me that was a huge 3 Days Grace fan back in the day, like will always love, you know, will always like, you know, hold on to that small piece of nostalgia when I hear, you know, Adam Gantier doing his thing. And yeah, Saint Asonia is that space. I was gonna see them live a few months back, but I think they canceled like their whole European tour or something, so that was a bit of a bummer. But yeah, this is a both of the EPs, this is a very solid, just like a very fun release. I'll say that. Of course, it's 2 EPs, but you know, not an album, but you know what I mean. After that, and this is a funny story. So I got Seosin with their self-titled album, the Beatle album. And yeah, as you can see, this is like, of course, as you can see by like the blue art, the blue cover art, this is like, again, like a special edition, a special limited edition with like some bonus material and stuff. As you can see, it's still sealed. The thing is, I've been wanting to open this one up for ages because I love this album. It's one of my, still right now, as we speak, as I'm recording this video, this is like heavy in my rotations. I love the Beatle album. Yeah, just love the record, right? But I've been like so happy with like this purchase, you know, because I bought this like on Discogs, and like the fact I got like the special limited edition like sealed, I just was so happy with it. I was so happy and proud of this purchase that like I just haven't had the heart to like unwrap it, so it's still sealed only for that reason. But I love this record. Yeah, Seosin, the Beatle album, you know, self-titled, great record. What is my body worth? Yeah, if you know, you know. And then after that, again, a band, and now this is definitely a band that for years, it's like one of the bigger, like a very big band within like my scene, like the scene like that I like of music that I really enjoy. That late 90s, 2000s, you know, mainstream rock, alt metal, and this is a band I've been meaning to like get more into for so long, but their discography is so huge that's always been like, I've always said, okay, I'll do it another time, you know, because like I can't like I have a hard time just like buying like 1 or 2 CDs of a band's discography, and then, you know, like when they have like so many. So yeah, Seven Dusts, and I bought a bunch of their records this year. I got some of these I got for Christmas, and finally I've like been, because before I think this year I only owned Animosity, and now I own a bunch more of their records. So like I bought Home, got Seasons, one of my favorites from them. Let's see, Alpha, you know, from that era, without, and of course Clint Lowry on guitar. But this is again like really underrated album. This one had some songs on the SVR 2008 soundtrack. Like, well, actually one of their best. Like, got some awesome heavy material on here. Moving on, I'm losing track of all these CDs. We got Cold Day Memory, their first album with Clint Lowry back in the lineup, and actually might like low-key bit of a hot take, but if not my favorite, it's definitely one of my favorite Seven Dust records. I really do dig this one. Of course, then we got again Blackout the Sun. I always have to double check the titles. I'm sorry. Blackout the Sun, another great release, and then like their 3 newest albums, which I got all of these for Christmas. Kill the Flaw, All I See Is War, and Blood and Stone. But yeah, Seven Dust, I mean, they got a huge discography, so many albums, and it always made it more difficult for me to like start getting into them. But 2022 was finally the year, and I got a bunch of their CDs. Still not complete, you know, still missing a few, but yeah, like that's already like a large chunk of their material right there. And then the last CD of this bunch is actually another one I bought back in Poland, like the near just like very early 2022. Seven Wiser, again a very like underrated like alt rock, you know, band from like the early 2000s that, you know, never really made it big. Released one album, then got dropped. But yeah, this has some solid material on it. Just, you know, I stumbled across it on Spotify, as I always do with some of these more underrated, you know, lesser known bands from that time period. And yeah, just really enjoyed it. And I bought it, like I saw a seller selling it in Poland, so I ordered it when we were there. And yeah, I enjoy it. But yeah, moving on to hopefully the final batch. Okay, this is indeed the final batch. Don't worry guys, we are almost done. You guys can see how long there's left of the video, how much there's left of the video, so if I'm lying, then I'm sorry. But hopefully I'll try to get through this as fast as I can. Without any more further ado, after that we have another band that released new music last year. We got Shinedown, and again, this was in anticipation of their newest album coming out. I already, of course, owned all of their other stuff, so instead I finally bought like the special, again, deluxe edition of The Sound of Madness. I've been meaning to get this one because this one has some awesome bonus tracks on it, like of course, like the biggest one of course being Diamond Eyes, which is like a concert staple, and it's not on the regular release. So I've wanted to get this deluxe for years, and I finally got around to it because the excuse of course was, hey, I'm excited for the new Shinedown album, let's go. And yeah, just again, Sound of Madness in general, one of my favorite albums of all time, just solid, you know, 2000s mainstream rock. And yeah, love Shinedown in general. And yeah, their newest album, Planet... Okay, man, this always happens when I'm making these kinds of videos. So my phone is running out of storage, so I gotta really try to wrap this up. As I was saying, Planet Zero, not as good as The Sound of Madness. And when it dropped, I don't like it as much as I did when it dropped. Like, it's another Shinedown record. It's got its solid moments, but you know, sometimes when it tries to switch, it's a bit too slow at some moments for me. It's again, I like it. It's a solid record. And I guess also part of me is just salty that they cancelled like basically their whole European tour, because I was so excited to see them, god damn it. But yeah, still love Shinedown, and yeah, Planet Zero, solid enough record, just definitely not one of my favorites from them. And then after that, again, another band which like I kind of like started buying more of their CDs of this year in anticipation of seeing them live. Simple Plan. I saw these guys live in October together with another band actually, which we will still get to. And Simple Plan again has been another one of those bands where like I know their music is like very cheesy, childish, pop punk, but I just like, it's got a charm to it for me. And again, I really enjoyed their live performance too, so that again adds to that. And yeah, just kind of like I already owned a few of their albums, so I kind of finished my collection, if you will. So I got Get Your Heart On, which I really enjoy. I got Taking One for the Team, which is definitely their weakest, but still got some moments on it. And their newest album, which came out last year, which really like was the main thing which got me interested in like really like reignited the spark, if you will. Harder Than It Looks, which I really enjoyed, even though this album has been getting like a lot of flack in like 2022 year-end charts, but I really enjoyed it. It's just Simple Plan doing their thing, you know, and yeah, like, you know, like a good return to form after Taking One for the Team, in my opinion, and I just really enjoyed this one. So yeah, Simple Plan. Okay, another interruption. This video really is falling apart right at the end, as as they usually do. I'm gonna do my best to just wrap things up now. This video is already just cursed as hell. My apologies. But yeah, that was Simple Plan, and now we have another 2022 album with Skillet's Dominion. I reviewed this one also like when it released as well. It's just another Skillet album. If you like the formula, you probably enjoyed it. If you don't, you hated it. For me, I'm kind of getting a little tired of it myself, like by now, but I don't know. Just I definitely preferred, you know, some of the old Skillet material. It's kind of getting like very samey, but hey, what can you do? After that, we got another new release with Slipknot's newest record, another band which I'm seeing live this year, this summer. Cannot wait. It's been like a bucket list thing for me for years. And to add to that, I'm going to see them with my girlfriend, so just very excited for that. But yeah, newest record. Nothing's gonna like topple like their first 4 albums for me, but just a solid release. I'd say. I think I did prefer We Are Not Your Kind over it though, but still, I mean, it's just a very good album from Slipknot. Still, just very consistent from them, and very excited to see them live, for sure. Yeah. And then after that, we got another very, like, you know, new metal band, you know, from like that 2000s era that just never, you know, got too big. You know, they had like, you know, a song or two that, you know, got some radio play, and that's it. With Stereo Mud, Perfect Self. definitely got some very solid material here. I'm sorry, my dog is in my room as well. Yeah, very professional. But yeah, again, another one of those, you know, very like lesser known nu metal groups from that time period. Moving on. So earlier I was talking about Simple Plan. Well, I actually saw them live together with Sum 41, and Sum 41 was of course touring. Well, was having an anniversary tour for both of these records together. So All Killer No Filler and Does This Look Infected. In my opinion, definitely their best material, and yeah, I was so excited to see the concert. So, like for the concert, that, you know, I went out and bought these. So yeah, there you go, Sum 41. Again, it was a killer show. It's just a great, just a very fun concert. Yeah, I'm just very happy that I'm able to go to concerts again. Like, you know, it's just I've missed it so bad, and yeah, it's been an itch I've been meaning to scratch for ages since COVID hit. But yeah. Okay, this video is 100% cursed, but hopefully that was the last intermission before the end, because we're almost there. Next up, very familiar feeling from my channel, some Christian rock, some good old TFK, and pretty much like the two albums I was missing from their discography. Their OG album, but of course this is the re-release of Set It Off, when they were like very like rap rocky, you know, very nu metal. Not one of my favorites from them, but like for completionist sake I had to get it, because I had just gotten this album a bit earlier in the year, which is Oxygen Inhale. Again, not one of my favorites of theirs, but it has a few like nice songs on it. Overall, there's just not enough like rocky stuff. There's like too many slow moments on this. They really tried something different here and doesn't really work too well, but it's got some solid stuff still. Thank God it's like not the longest album either, but I bought this and I was like, okay, this is the only one I'm missing, so let's go for it too. And I love TFK, what can I say? They need to come back with some new music soon, for real. And then the final record of the year, another 2022 album, and well, very fitting if you look at my outfit, it is 3 Days Grace, Explosions. Also reviewed this when it came out, and listen, what can I say? I think I've said this on the channel before, I used to love 3 Days Grace. Like, they were definitely like a top 5 band for me like years ago. Recently, in like recent years, I've kind of like been growing out of them. Like, I still have some love and appreciation for like especially their older stuff, and every once in a while they still drop a tune that like I'm really into, but like this album, like from start to finish, just really doesn't do too much. It's just so forgettable, you know. And then like again, I saw 3 Days Grace live for the third time. 3 Days Grace 3 times. Yeah, I know. Took me a long time to think of that one, and that's where I got this t-shirt at the show, which again, the concert was sick, but it's just like such a void. It's just, I don't know, they're just kind of doing their thing. They release some singles, you know, they go #1 on the rock charts because the rock charts love them, but the album is just not that, really. It's just, again, it's just not much going on. Like, you would never catch me listening to this over any other 3 Days Grace album. Yeah, it's not terrible, it's not bad, it's just kind of bland. So that's my opinion on Explosions, but whatever the case, the concert was still epic, and I really do like this t-shirt too. So yeah, that was it. Those were all the CDs I got in 2022. Hopefully, if I find out after the fact that I missed some, I'm gonna be very upset. But yeah, I guess I'll find out when I'm editing. And yeah, before I close out this video, I do want to thank you guys right quick for the amazing 2022 that the channel has had in general. Because I dropped out of my previous study, I had for like the first half of the year especially, I had a lot of time on my hands, at least a lot more time on my hands to work on videos, and I did do that, and some like the channel like got a lot of growth this in 2022. Of course, it slowed down when, you know, university started, which I'm still like very sorry about, but still I want to thank you guys for the amazing year the channel has had. I'm gonna try to upload, I mean, this coming year I want to upload whenever I can, whenever I have the ideas, whenever I have the time and energy. Definitely working on the Nickelback video as we speak, so hopefully that comes out soon. Again, I appreciate every single subscriber, every single like, every single comment. Even if I don't reply, I do always read them. And yeah, like, I'm just grateful to have this little platform, this little mini community, you know, that, you know, people that kind of like the same music I do and, you know, are interested to hear my opinions. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys once again. But yeah, that was it for this video. Sorry that it dragged on for so long again, and that for all the complications too. Yeah, that's just this channel. But yeah, if you made it this far, then thank you for watching. Yeah, my name is F.A.D, and I'm gonna see you guys in my next video. Bye.